Hello, YouTube. How are you? I hope that whenever you're watching this, whatever you're doing very, very well. So, today I wanted to make a video that is briefer than the videos I usually make because I usually just ramble and talk for like an hour or even more. It's crazy. But I had the inspiration today to do a video about the Mother of God. So if you watch my other videos, if you've been watching my Mother's Mysteries series, I'm talking about the same mother. So if you didn't know, God of the Bible, like the Old Testament God, has a mom. Come on, I mean, we all have a mom. We all come from a woman. A woman creates. So, even the God of the Bible, of the Old Testament, has a mother. Now, who is she? If you've never heard of that before, maybe you think that the mother is the Holy Spirit, or, you know, how there's Mother, Father, Son. And it's kind of like that. Like it's all there seems to be like little pieces of truth in a lot of different things, but not much cohesiveness, mainstream at least, when it comes to the Mother of God and the divine feminine presence and being that we all come from. So, who is she? She is a huge, like, our human minds can't really fathom the size and the audacity and the wildness of her. But she comes from a place called the Pleroma. And this is a term coined by the Gnostics. I believe it's a Greek word, and it means fullness. So what is the Pleroma? The Pleroma actually is the galactic core, our galactic center. You know how we're in the Milky Way galaxy and there is a point that is the center in Sagittarius, something like that. I believe it's a Sagittarius cluster or something. Has to do with Sagittarius, which I love because that is the Archer and I am a Sagittarius in Western astrology. So the Gnostics pinpointed this place exactly to the center of our galaxy. And through their own research in trance and connection to the earth, they found that the original creatrix of this whole reality, this whole earth that we live on, is a female creator deity from the galactic center. And to me, like, just to start that off, I think that is such a beautiful, incredible concept that the Gnostics, and if you don't know about the Gnostics, they're like it's like a mystery movement. People always say it's like Christianity. It's not like Christianity. The only similarity is that there are gospels and books that were left out of the Bible that were written by the Gnostics, and those are called the Nag Hammadi Codices. All this information is in there, and I'll make sure to link those because it's very amazing to read other versions, for example, of Genesis. There's another version of Genesis. Like, that's just crazy. So anyways, these Gnostics and Gnosis means knowledge. Apparently, and this is from John Lamlash, they didn't call themselves the Gnostics because to be called a Gnostic was being called like a know-it-all, like you smart ass. But I mean, to me, that's always like a compliment. Like, yeah, I know it all, which obviously I don't. But anyways, so this is a group, a movement more like a mystery school movement of magic and alchemy and figuring out the earth's mysteries, and they identified all this, and this is what's in their text, is that our creator is in fact a female, and she comes from the center of our galaxy, because on the other side of the center of our galaxy, I'm like, in my mind's eye, I see it like an iris in an eye. Like, it's a kind of a portal, and if you go through it, it's just like something else. And so how the Gnostics described the pleroma was that it was the fullness, it's just like a different material. It is all light, it is all white light, and it's not just the Mother of God that lives there. No. Like, this is, the more you look into this story, the more it expands and becomes real in your life, which is why I really love to share it. And the Mother of God, her name is Sophia, or Sophia, as John Lamlash likes to say, and I like to say it like that too, because then it alludes to phi, the golden ratio, and that is just what we base our whole life off of, and it's pure harmonious energy, and that all comes from her. So in the pleroma, in this other plane of existence that is still material, these creator deities live, and they're not like how we have gods and goddesses here, that they're like human form and, you know, they're just like super powered. It's more like they're described as these big torrents of energy that is just like incomprehensible to our human minds. So they are, and they create. That's what they do, is they create, and then they send it through the pleroma into the kenoma, which is the Milky Way galaxy where we live. They send it out, and based on the energy currents that exist in our material existence, like electric universe theory, this all, you know, rolls into one. They send out like genomes or those kinds of beginnings of creations on certain streams, so that they can go to where they need to go in order to have life, and to be created and to become creation. So that's what they do from the pleroma. And like I said, it wasn't just the Mother of God who lives here doing this on her own. Each creator deity, and they're actually called aeons by the Gnostics. They're called aeons. So these aeons work in pairs. They're supposed to. They work in male-female pairs. And where Sophia, her name means wisdom, her male partner's name is Thelete, and Thelete means, I think it's forethought, or thought in action, something like that, where Sophia is what we need to do, and Thelete is, okay, here's how we're gonna do it. In that kind of like yin-yang, male-female thing. So already there you can see how they've created us to have the same patterns, the same tendencies to be in partnership in, and I'm not saying, you know, only couples are straight couples, but I'm saying male-female energy. And the coming together of those two polarities is beautiful, and it makes things, it makes creations, and especially male-female, you make babies, that's a creation that you're sending kind of through your own pleroma into the kenoma, the material world that we live in now. So the Mother of God was making her, and this, if you want to learn more about this version of the story, which I find resonates most deeply with me, look into John Lamb Lash. He has so much stuff on YouTube. He has a book, so many speeches, and he has a website with courses, and his work is incredible. So the Mother of God, along with Thelete, who I guess is kind of the father. Let me explain. Together, they were torrenting and creating and making us. They were making the human genome to be the most incredible creation that they've ever made. Because imagine you made like animals, and you made planets, and you made whatever. Okay, great. But if you made like a being that can interact with that environment, interact with those animals, and have their own experience with it, like, to me, that is just, it's so profound. And that's what they were doing. That's what they were working on. However, and this is all happening in the pleroma, in the galactic core of our galaxy, the Milky Way. For some reason, and I think John Lamb Lash hypothesizes that Sophia and Thelete were like giving us too much power, that we just didn't know how to handle it. We didn't know how to properly channel our genius abilities into something that wouldn't destroy humanity eventually. And so that kept happening, and it happened 10 times. And then finally, Sophia, like a concerned mother, and she is also a younger Aeon, so she might be like a little bit naive. She started to, and this is like word for word from the Gnostic text, she started to think of solutions for how to help her humanity, help her creation to thrive in the way that we were created to thrive. Like, she's like, okay, there's something that I need to do, that I need to fix, and how am I going to fix it? So because these beings are creator beings, like it's just something else, every thought, every action, everything that they do has a real effect. And it's not unlike us, you know? When we think certain things, or this is law of attraction, you know? If I'm like, oh, I want a red car, I'm gonna see red cars everywhere because I am putting that out, and that's what I'm getting back. So think of that like from the source, like supercharged. You have this ability because it came to you from your creator, who already had this, right? And just had way more of it, and kind of knew what to do with it. So the Mother of God, Sophia, was, sorry, the fly wasn't around, was trying to think of a solution to help us. And unfortunately, she was imagining a solution to help humans thrive on her own. Like, the Aeons work in pairs always. If there's imagination going, if there's problem solving going on, it needs to be done in male-female pairs so that you get both sides, you get the polarity coming together to make one whole. So for whatever reason, and what I would say is that she was concerned. She was a concerned young mother about her creation and how she could help it really survive, and not just that, thrive in harmony with all of our potential and with the other creations that they've made. So she did this on her own, and as soon as she started to think of solutions on her own, and this is what's in the text, she created a deficiency because she didn't do this with her male partner, her Thelete. And this, everybody thinks that Sophia is the wife of God. No, she is the mother. Like, God came, and I'm talking about God of the Bible, Old Testament God, came from her. because she didn't imagine a solution to save humanity in partnership with Thelete. So, as a result, she entered into her own experiment. Her imagination is active, right? Like, it's real creation that's going on. And when she started to imagine a solution, she had never done this before. This is like not done by aeons. It's to do this on your own. It's just, I mean, there's a rule book of how to do things the right way, but if you do things the wrong way, it's not like it's wrong. It's like, oh, this is new. You know, we do this, it works this way, everything's great. Now, if you do something else, we're just gonna have to see how it goes. You know, it's not like there's right and wrong. There's things that work and maybe things that don't work as well. So she, because of her creative abilities, her imagination body, like, it wasn't even fully her physical self, not entirely, her imaginative body. Like, you know how when we dream, we are technically not in our physical body. We are in our, the Egyptians call it our Ka body, our etheric double. That's the one you're in meditations and dreams with, is your copy. And so it was like her version of that fell through the galactic core where she's in the pleroma. She exited the pleroma by accident. This is a mistake. This is, if you want to hear more about mistakes and humans making mistakes, check out my latest episode of Mother's Mysteries, because Sophia just came through so clear for me, and she was like, girl, I make mistakes. It was really nice for me. Anyways, so she, without Thelete, created a deficiency in this active imagination creation scenario that's going on. And as a result, when she was falling out of the galactic core into the Milky Way galaxy, into the Kanoma, where their material creations are spun and churned and given life to be material, because she didn't do it with Thelete, there was a part of her that was falling, and it was like an extra kind of junk that just, and this was how the deficiency materialized, is that as she was falling, it actually turned into something that came from her but needed to be expelled from her body. And how the Gnostics describe this in the Nag Hammadi codices, and these are very, very old texts that were found in jars in Egypt. They were just unearthed in 1945. Like, to me, that is just magic. And how they describe this deficiency, this like discharge that wasn't supposed to be there, they describe it like an aborted fetus. Literally like an aborted fetus with like big eyes, head, and like a tiny little body. And like a mother would do with an aborted fetus is you get rid of it. Like, that doesn't have life. It's something that was supposed to have life but didn't work out in your body, and your body expels it. And that is what happened to her as she was falling, and this is still while she's falling, into the Kanoma, into her material creation plane where they send their creations, and she's entered into this. You know, it's like if you're I always use Sims as an example because it's like the only game I play. If you are playing The Sims and you're like, my family is not like surviving, I don't know how I'm gonna make them survive, and as soon as you started to think that, you ended up in the game. Like, you were just like in The Sims. And you had to like figure out how to help them while being inside the Sims in this new different reality where there's different rules, and yeah, you know what the rules are, but you need to like also get your own shit together. So that's kind of like probably the most at least for me, the most relevant example of what it would maybe kind of sort of be like. So this aborted fetus that was like a shoot off from her, and she, while she was falling and she was trying to still figure out a solution for how humans can live and thrive, this happened, and she kind of like, she saw it, she was like, okay, I'm falling, like I don't know what to do, and she just like sent it like far away, covered it in clouds, and was like, okay, this will be over here, there's no problems, whatever, like stay there and nothing's gonna happen. However, that wasn't the case, obviously. And this aborted fetus, because it came from the body of Sophia, it had like a sliver, like a little fraction of life, and a little tiny fraction of her intelligence. Like, Sophia is the Greek word for wisdom, not for nothing. Like, she is wisdom, is that intelligence that transcends everything. It's not just knowledge, it's wisdom. And so because this aborted fetus, like any aborted fetus from a mother, it has characteristics of the mother. It has little slivers of the mother. And as a result, when she sent this aborted fetus off she was like, just get out of here. I'm falling through space and time for the first time. And I cannot deal with you right now, so just like go away. And when she did that, he started to grow. And in the text, it's like, started to like sway, started to move, you know? He wasn't fully devoid of life and of her intelligence, of her wisdom. So he started to grow. And what's it's described as is like a snake-like body with a lion's head, and he could shapeshift. Like, the Gnostic texts are like the most crazy sci-fi thing, but then once you get into it and you start to like let yourself resonate with it, you're like, wait, that actually makes way more sense than the Christian Bible. And he grew and he became like a being. And there, at one point, because he is deficient, he doesn't have sight. In the text, he can only look down. That's all he can see. He cannot look up. We, as humans, can look up. And when we look up, we access our pineal gland, and that's our inner eye. So we're very special. And this aborted fetus does not have any of that. He can only look down. And so when he finally came to and had enough awareness, he was moving and he saw the waters beneath him, and he was like, whoa, I'm the only one here. I'm the only guy in this joint. And he was like, if there is anybody else here, you better show up to me, otherwise I'm the only one. And so as soon as he said that, Sophia is, you know, her expansiveness is just incredible. And she heard him. And so she appeared behind him, and he saw her in the reflection because he can't look up. He was looking down and there's like watery substance, and he saw the reflection of her. And she was like, oh no, you're not the only one here. You come from me. Like, don't forget that. Like, that's very important to know where you come from and where you're rooted so that you can actually create a meaningful experience here. And then that's when and this is, get this is like the most biblical thing that you can hear. He said, oh, no, I'm still the only one here. And there will be no other gods before me because I am a jealous God. You've heard that one before. And why would you be jealous of something that's not there? If you say that there is no God, there's nobody else before me, I get jealous when people say this. It's like if it's not true, then there would be no jealousy. So, this aborted fetus turned into a snake lion shapeshifter is the Old Testament God. Yikes. And the Gnostics called him the Demiurge. He has a number of names: the Demiurge, Yaldabaoth, Sackless the Blind. Like he is just right away, right up front in the Gnostic text. They're like, this guy sucks. He can't see, and he's jealous of humans because of what we have and where we come from. That we come from them intentionally. We come from Sophia intentionally as a creation. He was an accident. And so he continued to use a little fraction of Sophia intelligence that he had, and he created the archons. He is the head archon, and the archons is a Greek word for authority. And these authorities, and this is all in the text, they created worlds and created blah blah blah, but they were all devoid of full life. They and this is in the text, they are not able to bless. They are only able to curse. Where humans can bless and curse. And because that he can't do everything that we can do, and we do it effortlessly, like it is just natural for us, he and the archons have been determined since they found out that they're not alone. They've been determined to take down humanity and to work with whatever groups will work with them to take down thriving life and to stop Sophia from having success in her experiment. So, Sophia is still falling through space and time. This is happening over here, and she's like, blah. And eventually, long story short, she had put the human genome somewhere, figured out that, okay, I need to make a 3-body system. There has to be a place for humans to live, there has to be sunlight for humans to live, and there has to be something to control the water. So, thus, Sophia became the earth, okay? That's very, very important. Sophia, her material body, her body that is in the Kenoma is the earth that we live on. She is this atmosphere. When I am breathing in her skin. Her skin is the atmosphere, and everything is a part of her dream body, because this is still like an active imagination situation. And she became the earth. She pulled in the moon to regulate the tides, and she pulled in the sun. So this is her 3-body solution. And while she was figuring out this and getting this together, the Demiurge, aka Yahweh, Jehovah, is still trying to figure out how he and the archons can stop humans from having thriving life. So while she was becoming the earth, they created the solar system around us to capture her in the middle so that she wouldn't be able to go anywhere. And they did this from Saturn. Saturn is the HQ of the archons, and that's why now you see so much Saturn worship in Hollywood, from Jewish people. I'm not saying all Jewish people, obviously, have your own thing, but I'm saying the black cube is a sign for Saturn. That is just a fact. Muslims in Mecca, they go around a black cube and end up becoming the rings of Saturn, going around the black cube, and the Demiurge is Saturn, the the Roman god who eats babies and is the god of time that, you know, kills people. And so that's the connection there. The demiurge of the Gnostics is the god of the Bible, is Saturn, Kronos of Roman Greek mythology. And if you know anything about Roman Greek mythology, you know he's not a good guy. And I've tried myself to connect with God the Father in that way, and I never was able to, just didn't really find that connection. And learning the story of God's mom helped me so much to be like, oh, yeah, it's because this guy is not for me. He is not for the thriving of human life, and in fact, he is jealous, and not just jealous, he is envious of humans because he wants to take away what we have. And look around in the world right now. We have the globalists trying to take over the entire planet and shut it down and make everybody choose economic or health, their economics or their health. And not just that, not just those choices, but the fear that is being put into every single person through the media, through the governments, through all these institutions. That fear is a signature of the archons. The fear that they put you in is to keep your vibration in a way that is scared, in a way that is not open, because when you love yourself, you are loving yourself as an extension of the planet. You are nature, baby. Like, the way that Sophia created the earth, she created you before that, and she became the earth to sustain you. Like, that is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard of. And that's the most suspicious thing to me that's missing from the Bible, is any talk about the earth. And the earth was just, boom, created. Like, great. The earth just came here. Like, let's finish it. And that's why I really, really, really love sharing this story so much, because I just find, especially for women, it's just so liberating to know that not only is your creator mostly female, like that's the most important part for us, because she's the one who entered into the experiment, and this is more complicated, but Thelete has shown up in archetypes such as Jupiter, and those kinds of like fatherly teaching kind of archetypes, but that not only is who created us is a female, she came into her creation and became her creation. She became life for us. We don't have life if we don't have an atmosphere. The atmosphere of this earth is her skin. And this earth is Gaia. Like, everybody knows that Mother Earth, the Earth Goddess, Gaia, is this incredible force, but what most people don't know is that Gaia has a soul. Gaia has a higher self. Gaia has a Ka body, kind of like that etheric dream double. Is this reality, is Sophia. Like, it's just so incredible that not only our earth is supporting us because she loves us, our earth is constantly sending us remembrances of where she comes from, where she, as the mother of creation, of all life, that mother is present right now with you in the air. When you're sitting by a tree, you're sitting by like one of her hairs, you know? If you're at the ocean, if you're enjoying the waves, then you are being crashed with her memory, because water holds memory. And John Lamb Lash said that icebergs is like her RAM drive, like her memory storage. You know, it's so incredible once you, and this takes a while to really absorb, once you fully understand that our planet is the goddess who created us, and she became so in love with us that she needed to be that which supports us and that which gives us life. And she has done it all despite this aborted fetus problem that is still a problem. And you can see it in our world today. There are still forces working against humanity. It is that force. It is the deficiency that she accidentally, was a mistake. You know, we hear God is perfect, makes no mistakes, blah, blah, blah. That's the aborted fetus talking. Like, shut up, guy. And so not only does the Gnostic creation story identify our planet as our creatrix coming from the galactic core, not only that, but it identifies who is working against humanity, in what capacity, why, and honestly that they can't really do much because they can't be in the atmosphere. They cannot be on Gaia's body, in Sophia's skin, because they can't breathe. It's like they're just not compatible with the atmosphere. So what the archons do, what Yahweh does, is, you know, find people who are listening to them, and unfortunately our society has been like mega brainwashed from all this stuff, and they get people who will do their bidding for them, and these are the globalist psychopaths. Like, when you look at the world and you look at it from like a grounded perspective of why certain things are happening, and the awful things that happen in this world, it is not sane. It is not like normal. I mean, it feels normal, but it is not, like, it just doesn't make any sense what people are doing. And it's because they have this parasitic infection from the archons by proxy to be here on Earth and to try to ruin Earth and to try to kill us, who are the most amazing creation ever made, where we observe beauty, and that is basically all we're meant to do. We're meant to observe and be beauty and love and honor and harmony and all of those beautiful things that make you feel good. That is exactly what we're supposed to be doing, because when we access love and we access beauty, we not only open up to nature, we open up to supernature. Like, supernature still exists, and that's like when you take plant medicine and you meet a Pachamama, you know, this beautiful motherly figure. Like, that is Sophia. You know, she is so real, and she can be so felt in your life. And she is the mother of the Old Testament God. Wow, I'm at like almost 40 minutes. I was like, I'm not gonna be too long. Anyways, so that is like a recap, quicker than my other ones, about who the mother of God is, how God had a mother, and how we are still feeling the not so great effect of God, aka the aborted fetus, aka the deficiency that Sophia accidentally created when she was working unilaterally without her male partner, which is not Yahweh. It's not that guy. Yahweh is her aborted fetus mistake that ended up just like trying to take over, but he just can't. He just doesn't have the same abilities, one, as she does, two, as we do. We are way more powerful than him, and there's even one part, sorry, my nose is so itchy. There's even one part in the Bible where, like, I don't remember who it was, but somebody wrestles with God. Like, and I think about that all the time. I'm like, bro, like, bring it. If they can beat you up, like, I can too. And I just love this story, and I love how profound it is for our reality today, because we are seeing the effects of it so much. Like, it's so real, this story, and it answers like all the things of where we come from. Why are there forces working against humanity? Why does our planet like become alive when we take plant medicine? You know, that's how does the Christian Bible reconcile that? Like, they don't. They just say don't do it, it's witchcraft. Okay, what is witchcraft? Witchcraft is working with the supernatural, which is Sophia. You know, like there's so much beauty, depth, love, and wisdom to be felt once you start to look into this story and you start to accept it as maybe it's just a lovely story that you like, but it is profound in the way that it connects you to the earth. And if you're wanting to move forward in this in any kind of way, the best aspect that you can touch on is to connect further with the earth, because that is Sophia's material body made of pure love for your life to thrive. And that is just, it's incredible. If you want to go on a meditative journey, I do shamanic journeying, mostly down to Gaia. I love going down to Gaia and Gaia's core. And I also have a shamanic journey up to meet Sophia. So those are on my YouTube channel. I will make sure to link them. And I also have a PDF kind of write-up of Sophia's story as well, if you'd like to read something. So that's where I'm going to end it. I love you guys so much. I love sharing the story. I felt like so energized today to share about the quote-unquote mother of God, because one, that's like a saying, like, oh, holy mother of God. It's like, okay, well, who is God's mom? Sophia. And God's mom is technically this planet. And that is just such a beautiful concept. I've never heard anything more beautiful. I love it. And I love you. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, and let me know if this story resonates with you. Let me know if you've done the journeys. Let me know if you have experience with Sophia, with Gaia. It's just so amazing, and I love to hear about it so much. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.